When a legend walks away, what's left behind? Back in 1999, Peter Schmeichel, the icon in goal for Manchester United, left the club after that legendary treble season. He wasn't just a goalkeeper, he was a leader. A massive wall standing between danger and the goal. But the space he left behind was so big that no one could fill it. Fabian Barthez, a World Cup winner, arrived at Old Trafford with a huge reputation. But instead of bringing confidence, he brought circus-like moments. Mistake after mistake. Then came Roy Carroll, the keeper who gave the world that ghost goal against Tottenham. A blunder so bad that even today's VAR wouldn't know what to do with it because it happened so fast and so weird. Then Tim Howard, the American keeper who seemed like he might be the answer, but kept making errors in the most crucial games. Each mistake wasn't just a goal conceded, it cut into the fans' trust. 6 years, 3 goalkeepers, dozens of mistakes. That wasn't just pain for MU, it was a warning to every club. A huge legacy can also be a curse. Manchester United, a team that once had a goalkeeper who made strikers fear stepping up, became a place where keepers ended up accidentally entertaining. Every season that passed, people asked the same familiar question: when will MU get another keeper like Schmeichel? And then, while the whole world was looking at flashy, expensive names, Sir Alex Ferguson chose a 35-year-old, cast aside by Juventus, playing for Fulham, a pretty average club. A transfer worth a mere £2 million. Not a superstar, not a young rising talent, but Edwin van der Sar. The friend? Ike Cummins. A name that didn't get anyone excited, but it was the missing piece Old Trafford had been searching for 6 years. And that's when the dawn began again. After 6 chaotic years, Manchester United didn't lack money. They didn't lack prestige. What they lacked was calm. In modern football, whenever a team hits a keeper crisis, the first reaction is always the same. Buy someone younger. Buy someone more expensive. Buy someone hot. But Sir Alex Ferguson did the opposite. No big unveiling. No blockbuster headline. No hype that this was the keeper for the next decade. Just a 35-year-old goalkeeper for £2 million. And plenty of people said, he's past his peak. This video will show you why Manchester United didn't need £100 million to fix their goalkeeper problem. Because United's issue at that time wasn't about shot stopping. They didn't need someone who could pull off spectacular saves. They didn't need weekly highlight reels. They didn't need a keeper who turned defensive mistakes into their own personal show. What United needed was someone who could stop mistakes before they happened. Someone who read the game earlier than the opponent, stood in the right position before the danger even arrived, and most importantly, made teammates feel safe. Because in elite football, panic spreads faster than the ball. A center-back hesitates for half a second. A fullback just glances back at the keeper, and suddenly the whole defense collapses. Sir Alex understood that better than anyone. He wasn't looking for a keeper who just saved shots. He was looking for one who stopped danger at the start. This isn't about age. This is about presence. And that's what made the choice special. A keeper who didn't have to shout, who didn't need to pound his chest, who didn't need to prove he was a star. He just stood there and made the whole stadium feel calm. In the next part, you'll see why a player once seen as a stand-in, pushed aside by bigger names, became the foundation for what we now call the modern goalkeeper, a style the football world admires today. Before the world talked about sweeper keepers, he was already doing it quietly. And that story starts long before Old Trafford, before Fulham, before Man United. Before even Buffon showed up, Van der Sar was already a legend in the Netherlands. He was Ajax's iconic keeper, part of the golden generation in the 90 seconds, with Patrick Kluivert, Frank de Boer, Edgar Davids. But what made Van der Sar different wasn't the saves, it was how he played with the ball. Not many people know this. Edwin van der Sar used to be a striker. As a tall, skinny kid in Voorhout, the Netherlands, he dreamed of scoring goals, not stopping them. And that shaped who he became. A keeper who understood how strikers think, a man who organized play like a midfielder, and a leader who built attacks right from the penalty area. In an era when keepers were told, don't hold the ball, just put it away, Van der Sar passed patiently, stretching the opponent's shape. Before Neuer, Before Ederson was famous for those laser-like long balls, Van der Sar was quietly doing it in Amsterdam. I can't ascend of the common. In 1999, he left Ajax for Juventus, hoping to write another big chapter in Italy. He became the first foreign keeper Juventus chose as their number one. But then, just 2 seasons later, everything fell apart. The old lady spent 52 euro million to sign Gianluigi Buffon, the young Italian hero. Van der Sar was pushed to the bench, not because he was bad, but because of politics. I didn't leave Juventus because I was bad. I left because they found someone better, or at least they thought so. Van der Sar, later recalling. In 2001, Van der Sar left Italy, not chasing glory, not chasing trophies. He just wanted to play football. And so, among many choices, he picked Fulham, a newly promoted Premier League club with no stars, no pressure, no media spotlight. A keeper who once won the Champions League went to Fulham. Everyone thought he'd given up on the top level, but he hadn't. He was waiting, not waiting for a chance, but for someone to believe in him again. A phone call, a leap of faith, a club that didn't need a big name, it needed a soul. And the call wasn't from Sir Alex, it was from an old teammate. 3 years at Fulham, no trophies, no spotlight, no one talking about the name once considered one of Europe's best keepers. But one person remembered, not a coach, not a journalist, but Ruud van Nistelrooy. They faced each other in the Dutch league and were close in the Netherlands national team. Van Nistelrooy, then United's main striker, not only knew how to score goals, he knew exactly who deserved to stand behind him. I told Sir Alex, if you need a top-class keeper, don't look far. Edwin is still here, and is still top quality. Sir Alex listened. No hesitation, no trials, no age doubts. For just £2 million, a tiny amount for a club of United's size, he brought in a keeper no one was talking about on page 1. No big press conference, no banners, no welcome video online. But this might be United's best signing in the modern era. Van der Sar arrived at Old Trafford in summer 2005. At that time, United wasn't at absolute peak. They were rebuilding with Rio, Ferdinand, Vidic, Evra, new pieces, not yet a solid wall. And then, just after a few games, people realized this wasn't a normal keeper. He didn't dive around a ton because he already stood in the right spot. He rarely needed to shout because teammates understood his eyes. He wasn't a highlight reel because he didn't let the defense fall into chaos in the first place. Van der Sar didn't come just to save shots. He came to establish order. Before the ball was even passed into MU's half, he was already organizing the entire backline. He said as, all low. Oh, no guy. He was the first to play the pass that started a counter-attack. Ferdinand once said, Edwin created an invisible safe zone behind us. When he was there, we felt there was nothing to worry about. No need to be captain. No need to wear the armband. Van der Sar led with pure calm. £2 million didn't just buy a keeper. It built the foundation for a defense that became nearly unbeatable for the next 4 years. When people talk about age, they think of slowing down. They think of slower reflexes. They talk about wear and tear. But with Van der Sar at 35, then 36, then 37, he didn't get older. He matured. In 2008, the peak of Manchester United's post-Beckham era with Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez. Behind them was a quiet leader, playing like he was thinking 3 moves ahead. 1,311 minutes without conceding, a world record in a top league. From November 2008 to February 2009, over 14 straight games with a clean sheet. And the keeper behind that, run at nearly 40 years old, was Van der Sar. Not eye-popping reflexes, not crazy flying saves, just being in the right place at the right time, making the right choice. It wasn't luck. It was the peak of calm and tactical understanding. But if we had to pick one moment that sums up Van der Sar's brilliance, it has to be that rainy night in Moscow, the 21st of May, 2008. Champions League final, Manchester United versus Chelsea. Ronaldo missed the third penalty. Tension soared. Chelsea had a chance to end it with Nicolas Anelka's kick. Van der Sar stood in goal. He didn't just watch the ball. He looked straight into Anelka's eyes. It wasn't just a shot. It was a mind game. And the winner was the cooler head. BBC commentator 2008. Anelka shot. Van der Sar dived the right way and pushed it out. The whole United team exploded. Van der Sar ran to his teammates, shouting the first time all match. It wasn't that the save was super hard, it was that he did it in the moment that decided the whole season. That wasn't just reflex, that was class. Steel nerves, reading body language, understanding minds. At that moment, the older man was stronger. Van der Sar didn't just save a penalty. He saved the Champions League legacy for Sir Alex. He saved the belief of millions of United fans going through a transition. And on that rainy night in Moscow, modern football finally saw the return of an icon. You don't have to be young, just right. In the last decade, world football began worshipping a new keeper model, sweeper keeper, a goalkeeper who not only stops shots, but also plays like a deep-lying defender, helping control the ball and build play from the back. First name everyone mentions? Neuer. Then Ederson, then Alisson, but few know. Before the world understood what a modern keeper was, Van der Sar was already doing it quietly. He played with his head before he touched the ball with his hands. At United, Van der Sar wasn't just keeping clean sheets. He was starting the attack. Short passes that dragged the press wide. Long kicks straight to Carrick's feet or Ronaldo already sprinting. He didn't just clear the ball, he picked the best option for the team in hard moments. In Sir Alex's eyes, he wasn't just a keeper. He was a key piece in the tactical system. Without him, United couldn't control the game from the back. And if you put Van der Sar in today's game, where Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta or Erik ten Hag want keepers to play like central midfielders, what do you think? He wouldn't just fit in, he'd be a star. Because he was doing that back in 2005, when the world still thought, what does a keeper need with playing with his feet? If Neuer had to watch tapes to learn it, Van der Sar was the living lesson. And the most special thing, even with technique, intelligence, and playmaking like a top midfielder, Van der Sar never made it about him. No flashy showboating, no viral highlights. No, look at me, just a keeper who understood the game better than many goal scorers. More than a decade has passed since he hung up his gloves. United has signed more expensive keepers, flashy ones, faster reflexes, weekly highlights, but none of them could recreate the invisible calm Van der Sar brought. Some keepers make you gasp at saves, some make you not need to gasp at all. Van der Sar was the latter. He didn't play to shine. He didn't want to be the hero. He just did one simple thing, and always did it well. Turn dangerous situations into ordinary ones. When Rio Ferdinand said, "We never panicked when Van der Sar was behind us," that wasn't praise for a flying save. It was proof of something you can't measure. Because in modern football, where speed, power, and viral moments rule presence, can still decide games. And that's what Van der Sar left behind. Not goals, not records, but something we call aura. It's Sabri's at Sun. An aura that makes teammates listen without shouting. An aura that makes strikers feel uneasy just from a calm stare. An aura that makes the goal look smaller for opponents and bigger for your own team. A good keeper makes saves. A great keeper makes teammates not need him to make saves. And if you're a coach or a football fan, don't just chase quick reflexes. Don't just want highlight reels. Sometimes what you really need is someone who can make an entire defense feel safe.